in order to give you context, I'm sat down. I am sat down exactly right there. And that is the library. Hi, how are you? How the fuck are you? How's everything? Not quite so sunny today, but it's bright enough to warrant sunglasses. I just draw the line at wearing them indoors. I think, you know, unless it's like in a fucking conservatory and some atrium, some courtyard, you can't really justify indoor sunglasses. Unless you're, what's his name? What's that rapper called? Fish Sticks? Fish Sticks? Fucking hell. Kanye West, he can get away with wearing sunglasses inside because his eyeballs are so fucking ugly. Have you seen his eyeballs? He doesn't show them very much. Anyway, this video is a long time coming. It's been brewing, it's been spitting and hissing in the cauldron of my subconscious for the last 5 years. And it's very important now. Very important to talk about the truth. And this video could be called, I don't know if I'll remember to call this it later, The Truth About the Truth. Basically, what you're taught in school, in your kind of basic science class, and then later on in physics, and then if you specialize at university in astronomy, astronomical physics, they will tell you that the universe began with a Big Bang. There's actually a Catholic priest named Lemaitre, a Belgian. Speaking of Belgium, they shouldn't have beat the USA. Come on, Tom Howard, you could have saved the 17th goal, mate. You could have done it. Dude, good beard, you've made America interested in football again. But a Belgian priest, a Catholic priest, what are Catholic priests famous for? Apart from fucking little boys in the ass. Come on, apart from fucking little boys. That's right, religion, irrational thought, faith. He came up with a Big Bang theory. He did a few kind of local mathematics and said, yep, it all kind of collapses into a singularity at the very start. And this is extremely troublesome because to use a word like singularity, or when you draw it in the children's textbooks, you know, those nice science textbooks, they have a kind of a small ball, like a nucleus, a single ball to represent the singularity. When, whoa, what singularity actually means in physics, in this context anyway, is a location, a time, an event which transgresses and is outside of the known laws of physics. They say that our universe is very finely tuned, extremely finely tuned to support life and to just about keep matter together. If it was a fraction different in the laws, the gravity, the dark matter, everything would just fly apart, life would be impossible. But at the Catholic priest's Big Bang, which took place in the little boy's underwear, no, took place at 13.7 billion years ago, the reality is that there's nothing in our available weapons, ammunition area of reasonable thought that can figure out what happened at the Big Bang. And it gets even more troublesome than that. The Big Bang expanded at the speed of light, and that is quite impressive, you know, and you go, oh, the matter in the universe, the size of a pinhead, the size of a pea, perhaps some people say it was the size of a kind of petit pois. Bernard Matthews, no, it's Birdseye does peas. Very troublesome that matter suddenly then decided to travel at the speed of a photon. And here's the very troublesome thing. Like Lawrence Krauss and his other kind of, you know, astronomy, let's talk about reality, let's disprove God, kind of Richard Dawkins, Stephen Hawking's genre, Daniel Dennett, fucking, you know, that lot. The militant atheists. They don't believe in infinity. They don't believe in things which are outside of their kind of textbook scientific thing. And that's good in a way. I did a video many, many months ago saying that the only kind of thought process that respects the beauty of the subjective, the beauty of the infinite subjective mind is militant atheism. And there's a reason for that, because it's kind of like a blank slater. You know, no God, no anything, make it up yourself. Whereas religions and priests and rabbis and whatever will say, no, it's like this. Lawrence Krauss, very scared of infinity. very scared of, you know, the notions of things existing outside that which is observable. And this is very important because, like, the photons shining off my skin, being collected in my little photon collection device here, they're flying off my skin at the speed of light. You don't have to be a physicist to get this. It's light. It travels at the speed of light. But according to Einsteinian theory of relativity, anything which travels with the speed of light is not subject to time. Because there's some weird thing. I don't know the ins and outs, but if you got in a spaceship and you fled a scene, you fled the planet at the speed of light, and you were away for 1,000 years, and you maintained the speed of light for 1,000 years, you'd come back having passed no time at all. And you'd land in a very futuristic world 1,000 years in the future, and they'd gawp at your caveman spaceship saying, oh my god, this primitive human being had to travel at the speed of light. We just fucking wormhole the shit now. We just fucking wormhole food, everything onto our table. And this poor guy has been away 1,000 years. Everyone he knows is dead. And so, the universe, Big Bang, is the size of a pea, or a fist will represent with a fist. It goes bang, and all matter escapes, and is still escaping. I mean, where's the reference point? Where's the starting point? I'll come on to that in a second. Everything's escaping at the speed of light, hence, nothing is subject to time. Einstein was wrong. He was wrong. And if nothing is subject to time, the passing of time is literally a trick our minds are playing on ourselves. It's an illusion. I hate to say it's an illusion, man, because that's kind of like conspiracy theory, spirituality, David Ickean fucking everything's an illusion, man. I'm like, yes, I read that David Icke book. It was called Love is the Only Truth, Everything Else is an Illusion. And I believed him. And the funny thing is, he fucking turned on me, that fucking reptile overlord. And I then met a journalist called Will Storr, who then wrote an article about him. And I told him, this guy said, look, I've been writing to David Icke saying, dude, what's up? Why, if everything's infinite love is the only truth, why have you turned on me like a fucking scumbag? Why have you been nasty? Why can't you just be infinitely loving to me? And I told the journalist about this. I said, look, the best line that David Icke replied to me was, I don't know you, mate. And so this was in his article, and David Icke, because everything is an illusion and love is the only truth, in his angry grey mullet, sorry, silvery platinum, beautiful manicured fucking beautiful mullet, he thought, shit, I need to get one up on that young fucking 9/11 shill, that fucking turncoat. And so he publicly published private emails that I had sent him back in the day, you know, like this whole 9/11 fucking shit. And I thought, my god, what a fucking scumbag, publishing private emails for the world to see. Luckily, here's the beautiful thing, I didn't say anything outrageous, didn't say anything bad, I said exactly what I fucking told you, and you can check this out because David published Charlie's emails. I said, dude, come on, infinite love's the only truth. I had a great deal of respect for you, I liked your fucking books, your videos, anyway. Enough about that fucking arsehole. Illusion is where I kind of went off on my tangent. I don't like to use the word illusion because, like, fucking hell, like, it's the word is as troublesome as saying that God exists, and then who created God, who created the thing that created God, you can go on forever. And so, the reason I mentioned Richard Dawkins and Lawrence Krauss, in a book, great book, A Universe from Nothing, Richard Dawkins does the foreword, and in his foreword he very bluntly and publicly, happily admits, I do not understand quantum theory, quantum physics. Don't understand it. And that's fair enough, because Richard Dawkins is very good at... Fucking hell, did you look up how much Richard Dawkins has in the bank? How much the God delusion made the fucker? He has $100 million in the bank. Fucking hell, it's good business, the Hegelian dialectic. Slamming something down is good business. Maybe I should make some money slamming down David Icke, but... yeah. Richard Dawkins says he doesn't understand quantum physics, and like, okay, even Richard Feynman, the very celebrated American professor, I think he was at University of California, Berkeley, is that how you, I think that's where he was, Stanford? Anyway, fuck that, I'm going to tangents. The reason materialist scientists have to just bluntly state that they don't understand quantum theory is that it truly is a kind of Schrodinger's cat escaping from the box, punching the fucking lab technician in the face and then breeding a brood of kittens and running off having a great time. Schrodinger's cat is out of the fucking bag. That cat, which is both dead and alive, it's actually more than that. And Lawrence Krauss in this amazing book, and like, this is a hilarious point here, you know, those flat earth people that say the earth is flat, and they have a society called the Flat Earth Society, and they get ridiculed every now and again in the mainstream media. People go, they don't believe in a spherical earth, and that's fair enough, bunch of fucking idiots, you know, like. But quantum theory and astronomy and mathematics has proved, and get this into your fucking nut, has proved that the universe, not only is it flat, it doesn't have any dimensions. It's just a gigantic fucking orgy of quantum superposition, meaning that everything that has existed, does exist, will exist, can possibly be conceived of, even that, what Donald Rumsfeld calls the unknown unknowns, they all exist at the exact same time, the only time which is right now. Time's an illusion. Did you pay attention at the start of the video? Everything exists. Every fucking thing exists. There's a universe where fucking Stefan Molyneux forgives his mum. There's a universe where Eminem still doesn't forgive his mum. There's a universe where I've got 500 children. There's a universe where I have no children. And there's this universe where my baby daughter Maya is going to be born any day now. She's due for the 11th of July. And this is when the viewers, you all smile and say, oh, he's got a little girl coming. And I'm very, very happy. I have to admit, very, very happy. Well, this universe that I'm in now. And so, Lawrence Krauss, Richard Dawkins. If you don't know who these guys are, just pause the video, look them up, come back to the video. They don't like infinity. They publicly state they don't understand quantum theory. But this is annoying because I don't have the scientific training that Richard Feynman or a Dawkins or a Lawrence Krauss has. But things which they release to us in their books, like Stephen Hawking's Grand Design, he talks about M-brain theory, M-theory. Lawrence Krauss with his universe from nothing, they can happily give us facts which have been cross-checked and are very credible. For example, the universe is flat. And here's the best thing. A few years ago, people were saying, oh, the universe is a hologram. It's a 3D projection from a two-dimensional surface of a black hole, the edge of a black hole. There's the event horizon where, and I love this, where matter can neither escape. Reality can neither escape, and it's not getting sucked into the black hole. It's the surface, you know, the event horizon, where if you went even a tiny bit further, you'd get sucked into the black hole. And they used to think that, you know, the universe is a projection, a 3D projection from the two-dimensional surface of a black hole. But it's even worse than that. Like Lawrence Krauss, and this is a very recent book, the most latest breakthroughs in astronomy and physics and quantum physics, is that the universe doesn't have any dimensions. It's just a giant bundle of information. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is where science and what has been traditionally known as spirituality are starting to coincide and come together. And that, I think, is wonderful. What a coincidence, what a great coincidence we happen to be alive now. What a fucking amazing everything's just a fucking big coincidence, isn't that great? And look, consciousness is that is the key to your transcendental reality. Like, okay, part 2 of this video of the truth about the truth begins now. Right, every human being, there's two sides to every coin. There is a duality within the unity. It has to be. It's a conceptual thing. Like the back of my head is the front of the head. The left has the right. You know, on has off, black has white, Freemasons, black, white, checkerboard, fucking St. Paul's Cathedral. All that good stuff. Like, you are, get this, like, and like, until you get this, you're not going to understand. You are at once an angel and a devil, to use that nice metaphorical terminology of all the ancient religions, or if you're a Muslim, you might say you're half Allah, half jinn. I love how they name their devils after an alcoholic beverage, you know, because Muslims are not allowed to drink. Do you get it? Do you get it? Gin and tonic. The tonic for your gin is not more demoness. But look, you are at once a sentient, a kind of self-aware representation of the universe, but you're also a flesh and blood machine, a psychopath, a replicating zombie only after putting your sperm or your ovaries together with other sperm or ovaries of people you consider to be genetically good enough for you. You want to dominate, you want to have enough food, enough power, enough all that shit, yeah? And there's the paradox. Life is a beautiful vibration. It is a paradox between infinity and true nothing. And somehow, and I don't have the answer to this, I only have questions, but somehow, how the hell are we self-aware? And intuitively, I was fucking talking about this shit when I was 12, 13, like intuitively, you can figure out that, oh my God, it's beautiful, it's fucking astounding. I'm aware, I'm fucking here, man. Like, all my emotional troubles, all my adventures, everything that is going on. Fucking astounding. All the children, all the fights, all the unreasonable stuff, all the good stuff. And here's the thing, like, to come back to the word illusion. To come back to the word illusion. It's like a big criticism people have of, like, say, Buddhism or so forth. They might go up to a suffering mother who's just lost her baby, or someone's been raped, brutally raped, and they say, hey man, don't worry, it's just an illusion. Buddha gets it, just transcend this reality and escape. And that is fucking rude. You don't shit on the real suffering of others. And it is real, there's the paradox right there, the fucking paradox between infinity, your God, and true nothing. You're not even there. Daniel Dennett says consciousness doesn't exist. Please pause the video right now. Look up Daniel Dennett. He's got a big Charles Darwin white beard, and he says that consciousness is not there. It's just a kind of a thing that we think we have. We're just a kind of highly advanced computer, and our self-awareness, according to Dennett, is just a kind of a useful center point, a kind of reference point for all the kind of senses and vision and smell and taste and hearing and thoughts to come back to. But no, I'm definitely here. I think, therefore I am. Cartesian dualism for the win, motherfucker. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the truth about the truth. And Stefan Molyneux, forgive your mother, okay? Blood runs thicker than water. I love you all.